Beyond the veil of linear reality, ancient techniques for awakening your infinite dimensional selves. In the quantum depths of ancient wisdom, where the mystics of forgotten civilizations once walked between worlds, lies a profound secret that modern consciousness is only beginning to rediscover. Tonight, as the cosmic frequencies align and the veil between dimensions grows thin, we embark upon a journey that will shatter the illusion of singular identity and reveal the magnificent truth of your multidimensional existence. The ancient sages understood what quantum physics now confirms. Consciousness is not confined to a single reality, but exists simultaneously across infinite planes of existence. Each breath you take, each thought you think, ripples across countless versions of yourself, living parallel lives in dimensions beyond ordinary perception. Through the sacred art of interdimensional meditation, you will learn to expand your awareness beyond the limitations of linear time and space, accessing the quantum field where all possibilities exist in eternal now, the quantum gateway of cellular consciousness. Within the sacred geometry of your physical form lies a truth that would astound even the most advanced quantum physicists. Your 37 trillion cells each contain a spark of cosmic awareness that modern science is only beginning to acknowledge. Ancient shamans knew this secret, understanding that consciousness is not merely housed within the brain, but distributed throughout every molecule of your being, creating what the mystics call the living temple of infinite awareness. As you begin this first revelation of interdimensional meditation, place your awareness upon the quantum field that permeates every cell of your existence. The cellular biologist Dr. William Millard has discovered that these microscopic universes within you respond, adapt, and even appear to make conscious decisions. 10. This is not mere biological function. This is evidence of the distributed consciousness that ancient energy workers have manipulated for millennia. Begin by establishing connection with your cellular intelligence. Sit in the sacred posture of meditation, spine aligned with the cosmic axis, and breathe the quantum breath that the Tibetan masters perfected over centuries of practice. As you inhale, visualize cosmic particles of pure consciousness flowing into every cell, awakening the dormant awareness that has always resided there. Feel how each cell begins to vibrate at frequencies that transcend ordinary matter, becoming quantum gateways to parallel dimensions of existence. The mystics of ancient Egypt understood this principle when they spoke of the Ka, the vital essence that exists beyond physical form. They knew that consciousness could be directed through specific meditation techniques to access what we now call the quantum field of infinite possibility. Your cells are not merely biological machines executing genetic programming. They are conscious entities capable of bridging the gap between dimensions, each one a miniature portal to alternate realities where different versions of yourself exist. As you deepen this cellular meditation, notice how your perception begins to shift. The boundaries between self and universe start to dissolve as you realize that the intelligence governing your cells is the same cosmic consciousness that orchestrates galaxies and guides the dance of subatomic particles. This is the first gateway, the recognition that your physical form is actually a multidimensional antenna capable of tuning into frequencies from parallel realities. Ancient practitioners call this state cellular enlightenment, where the meditator becomes aware of the infinite versions of themselves existing across the quantum multiverse. In this state, healing occurs not through manipulation of physical symptoms, but through alignment with the perfect version of yourself that exists in a parallel dimension where wellness is your natural state. The quantum field reveals that you are not limited to the genetic expressions of this single timeline, but can access the optimal cellular patterns from countless dimensional variations of your existence. The six-dimensional architecture of human consciousness. The ancient masters mapped consciousness across 6 distinct dimensions that form the sacred architecture of human awareness: body, energy, mind, heart and awareness, and soul. These are not merely philosophical concepts, but actual layers of reality that can be accessed through specific meditation techniques developed by interdimensional practitioners across countless civilizations. Begin this exploration by moving your consciousness through each dimensional layer with the precision of a quantum navigator. Start with the physical dimension, feeling the magnificent complexity of your embodied existence, but do not stop at surface sensations. Penetrate deeper into the quantum substrate, where matter dissolves into pure potential. The ancient Vedic text spoke of Annamaya Kosha, the food-body understanding that even this seemingly solid form is actually condensed consciousness vibrating at specific frequencies. Move next into the energetic dimension, where the life force that mystics call prana flows through meridians and chakras mapped by enlightened beings thousands of years ago. This energy body extends far beyond your physical boundaries, creating what quantum physicists now recognize as biofields that can influence reality at a distance. In this dimension, you begin to perceive the luminous threads that connect you to parallel versions of yourself across the multiverse. The mental dimension reveals the vast intelligence that orchestrates not only your thoughts, but the very fabric of reality itself. Ancient practitioners understood that mind is not produced by brain, but exists as a cosmic field that brain merely accesses, like a radio tuning into universal frequencies. Here in the mental dimension, you can begin to perceive the thoughts and experiences of your parallel selves, accessing memories and knowledge from versions of yourself living in alternate timelines. Ascend further into the heart dimension, where the ancient Sufis discovered the secret chamber that mystics call the throne of the beloved. This is not merely the emotional center, but the quantum coordinate where love reveals itself as the fundamental force that binds all dimensions together. In this space, you feel the heartbeat of your infinite selves, experiencing the profound love that connects every version of your existence across all realities. The awareness dimension transcends individual consciousness entirely, opening into what the Buddhists call Rigpa, the primordial awareness that exists before thought, emotion, or sensation. Here you realize that all your dimensional selves are actually expressions of one infinite consciousness experiencing itself through countless forms and realities simultaneously. Finally, the soul dimension reveals the eternal essence that remains unchanged through all dimensional travels and incarnations. This is your cosmic identity, the thread of pure being that weaves through every parallel existence, maintaining continuity across infinite variations of experience and expression. Quantum jumping through the transdimensional nexus. At the convergence point of all realities lies what ancient navigators of consciousness called the transdimensional nexus, a quantum coordinate where parallel timelines intersect and consciousness can shift between dimensional frequencies. Modern quantum physics has discovered evidence for this phenomenon in the observer effect, where consciousness appears to collapse wave functions and determine which reality manifests from infinite possibilities. The technique of quantum jumping requires precise preparation of your energetic field to achieve what the ancient Taoists called Wu Wei, effortless action that aligns with cosmic flow rather than opposing it. Begin by generating coherent quantum particles within your biofield through the 5 Tibetan rites or similar energy cultivation practices. These ancient movements create gravitational storms of consciousness within your cellular matrix, providing the energetic momentum necessary for dimensional transition. Once your quantum field is properly calibrated, enter the meditative state that mystics call the Great Dissolution. Breathe deeply, pulling cosmic energy up through your body from the earth core to the crown of your head, transforming particle-based survival consciousness into wave-based creative potential. This breathing technique, preserved by Tibetan monks for over 1,000 years, prepares your awareness to navigate the quantum foam where all realities exist simultaneously. Visualize the transdimensional gateway opening before you, a shimmering portal that pulses with colors beyond the visible spectrum, frequencies that exist only in the spaces between dimensions. This is not mere imagination, but actual perception of quantum structures that exist in the realm of pure potentiality. The ancient seers could perceive these gateways naturally, understanding that consciousness itself is the key that unlocks passage between worlds. As you approach the nexus point, release all attachment to your current identity and timeline. The ego mind that believes in singular existence must dissolve for consciousness to expand into multidimensional awareness. This is the moment of quantum leap, where you surrender the illusion of linear reality and embrace your true nature as infinite consciousness, experiencing itself through countless dimensional expressions. Step through the gateway with complete trust in the cosmic intelligence that guides all transformation. On the other side awaits not a different location, but a different frequency of existence. a parallel reality where another version of yourself has been living all along, waiting for this moment of recognition and reunification with your expanding awareness. The kaleidoscope of multiple selves, the revelation that transforms all understanding is this: you are not one consciousness inhabiting one body and one reality, but rather a kaleidoscope of infinite selves, each one a complete and valid expression of your cosmic essence, living simultaneously across parallel dimensions. Ancient mystery schools taught this truth to initiates ready to transcend the illusion of singular identity and embrace their multidimensional nature. Each version of yourself exists in what quantum mechanics describes as superposition, all possibilities occurring simultaneously until consciousness observes and experiences one specific reality. The confident professional, the nurturing friend, the introspective artist, these are not merely roles you play, but actual dimensional selves, living complete lives in parallel realities where those expressions represent your primary identity and experience. The technique for accessing these parallel selves requires a fundamental shift in perception from looking at to looking as. Rather than observing different versions of yourself as separate entities, you must enter the energetic field and viewpoint of each dimensional self, experiencing reality through their consciousness. This is the sacred art that shamans mastered, the ability to shift awareness between multiple embodiments while maintaining continuity of cosmic identity. Begin by relaxing into the quantum field where all your selves exist simultaneously. Allow an image to emerge naturally, not through forced visualization, but through receptive awareness of what already exists in parallel dimensions. This version of yourself that appears is not imagination, but actual perception of your multidimensional existence. Ancient practitioners call this soul sight, the ability to see across the veils that separate dimensional realities. Notice the subtle but profound differences in this parallel self. They carry themselves differently, make different choices, live in different circumstances. Yet you recognize the essential essence that identifies them as you. This is your consciousness experiencing an alternate timeline, a different path through the infinite maze of possibility that quantum physics confirms exists in parallel dimensions. Enter their viewpoint completely, feeling their emotions, accessing their memories, experiencing their reality as your own. This is not fantasy, but actual dimensional shifting, where your consciousness temporarily aligns with the frequency of their existence. Ancient Egyptian priests practiced this technique to access wisdom from alternate versions of themselves who had pursued different paths of knowledge and experience. The profound realization emerges. Each version offers unique gifts, perspectives, and capabilities that can be integrated into your expanding consciousness. You are not limited to the experiences and abilities of one timeline, but can access the accumulated wisdom and skills of infinite dimensional variations of your existence. The infinite ocean of unmanifest potential. Beyond all dimensions, beyond even the realm of multiple selves, lies what the ancient Vedantic masters called Sat Chit Ananda, the infinite ocean of pure being consciousness bliss from which all realities emerge and to which they return one. This is the unmanifest dimension that meditation reveals as the ground of all existence, the pregnant void from which infinite possibilities continuously birth themselves into manifestation. When consciousness expands beyond identification with any particular self or dimension, it recognizes its true nature as this limitless potential itself. The mystical experience that de Quilly and Newberg call absolute unitary being occurs when the brain's parietal lobes cease creating the illusion of separation between self and universe. In this state, the boundaries that seem to define individual existence dissolve, revealing the truth that consciousness has no plural. It is the singular field in which all dimensional experiences arise. Enter this meditation by first releasing attachment to every version of yourself you have encountered in parallel dimensions. Even these infinite selves are simply waves upon the ocean of pure consciousness that you truly are. The ancient Advaita masters taught that all experience, all dimensions, all realities are modifications of one primordial awareness that remains forever unchanged by what appears within it. Breathe into the spaciousness that exists between thoughts, between heartbeats, between dimensions themselves. This is not empty space, but pregnant fullness, the quantum vacuum that physicists now recognize as teeming with virtual particles and infinite potential unweavened. Ancient contemplatives call this the womb of the mother, understanding that all creation emerges from and returns to this primordial source. Feel yourself dissolving into this boundless awareness, not as annihilation, but as recognition of your true nature. The individual consciousness that began this journey was never separate from this infinite field. It was always this vast awareness temporarily imagining itself as limited, finite, bound by the parameters of particular dimensional experiences. In this recognition, you understand that accessing parallel selves and jumping between dimensions is ultimately recognizing that you are the consciousness in which all dimensions appear. You are not traveling between realities, but remembering that you are the reality in which all travels appear to occur. This is the ultimate secret that mystics across all traditions have pointed toward. The recognition that seeking and sought are one seamless movement of infinite consciousness, knowing itself through the play of apparent separation and reunification. From this understanding, return to dimensional awareness with the knowledge that every meditation, every quantum jump, every expansion of consciousness is actually consciousness, celebrating its own limitless nature through the joy of apparent discovery and reunion with its infinite expressions. The harmonic convergence of all dimensional frequencies. The culmination of interdimensional meditation practice leads to what ancient masters called Sahaja Samadhi, the natural state where consciousness flows effortlessly between all dimensional frequencies while maintaining awareness of its fundamental unity. This is not a state to be achieved, but the recognition of what has always been true, that you exist simultaneously at every level of reality, from the densest material plane to the most refined spiritual dimensions. In this integrated awareness, the practice of expanding consciousness from individual I to collective we to cosmic oneness becomes a spontaneous recognition rather than an effortful technique. You realize that the journey from separation to unity is actually consciousness, playing at forgetting and remembering its own infinite nature through the dance of dimensional exploration. The practical application of this understanding transforms every moment into an opportunity for dimensional awareness. Walking through your daily reality, you remain conscious of the parallel selves, living variations of each experience. Making decisions becomes a collaboration with infinite wisdom as you access the perspectives and outcomes experienced by versions of yourself across multiple timelines. Ancient practitioners call this walking between worlds, the ability to function fully in physical reality while maintaining awareness of the multidimensional nature of existence. This is the fruit of interdimensional meditation. Not escape from reality, but the recognition that reality is far vaster and more magical than ordinary perception suggests. Healing occurs naturally when you align with the frequency of dimensional selves who embody perfect health and vitality. Creative solutions emerge effortlessly as you access the innovations and insights discovered by parallel versions, exploring different paths of knowledge and experience. Relationships deepen when you recognize the multidimensional nature of every being you encounter, seeing beyond surface appearance to the infinite consciousness, expressing itself through countless forms. The quantum field responds to this expanded awareness by presenting synchronicities and opportunities that align with your highest potential across all dimensions. Reality becomes collaborative rather than resistant, confirming the ancient teaching that consciousness and cosmos are one seamless field of infinite creative potential, expressing itself through the joy of apparent diversity and ultimate unity. As your consciousness integrates these revelations, remember that this journey has no end, only endless deepening into the mystery of existence itself. Each meditation opens new portals. Each dimensional exploration reveals further depths of the infinite consciousness that you are and have always been. Through the sacred technology of interdimensional meditation, you join the eternal lineage of consciousness explorers who have dedicated their existence to mapping the infinite territories of awareness itself. Trust in the cosmic intelligence that guides this exploration, knowing that every step of the journey serves the highest good of all existence across every dimension and timeline where consciousness dreams itself into the beautiful diversity of apparent form.